Yeah, let's start the show.
Jose! 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 ¿Dónde? ¿Estás? Jose!
Hey baby, ¿qué pasó? Thought I was your only vato. Hey baby, ¿qué pasó? Won't you give me un beso?
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
All right now. My name is Polly. This is a Latino Slant. We're live every Tuesday afternoon with special guests. Always kind of just bringing the most eclectic sort of wonderful people on this show. I hope you're doing well. Do me a favor, smash the like, share it on Twitter, retweet my tweet if you want, say hello, all that good jazz. And I want to thank all our early birds that are here. And let me first say hello to all our members, and I'm going to bring KAMRAN in. David Glenn, Monkey Jeebus, Maria, what's up, Maria? Crimson, I haven't seen you in a minute. It's good to see you, Crimson. What other members are here? Shanatsky's here. Deleted Scenes. ¿Qué pasó, man? It's good to see you. And then, of course, we have a bunch of friends here. I'm just going to name them off. Manolo, Wex, Stumpbrat, James, The Dork Knight, Mighty Orbots, Ari. It's good to see you guys. Wow. Apeyon, Rob MM, Dylan C. What's up, Dylan? Super Cosmic Mutant Honey Candle Squid. Whoa. That's a name. It's good to have you all here. I think I got everyone in here. Disney Sheepherder. Oh, that's a good one. Disney Sheepherder. And Miguel Farah. Good to have you guys. What's up, Doc Fortune? D-Bud Martin here on the Latino Slant. Well, wow. A lot of stuff happening in Hollywood. A lot of stuff that I don't want to cover because I just don't. Let other channels do that covering. I like to cover stuff that there's some substance, there's some stuff there, and stuff that I think is going to be a little more enlightening for you guys. Speaking of enlightening, let's just bring him in. He's been waiting, and we only have him for a short amount of time because he's got to fly him back to the East Coast. My good buddy KAMRAN PASHA, Senor,
hola, and hola to all of the wonderful people in the chat.
My man, look at the beautiful day in sunny Santa Monica.
It's lovely back here. So now I'll be heading back. I'm working in Pennsylvania for a few more weeks, so I'll be heading back there. I'll be going through 30-degree temperature change in one night.
Wow, whoa, that's pretty. Sometimes we have that 20-degree change here in LA, which surprises a lot of people. That actually happens a lot within one day. And speaking of weather, if you guys can hear it, no, I'm not sick. I have major allergies, so that's what's going on. It's kind of hard for me to catch up with my breathing because the nose just doesn't work. But a lot of people are saying hi to you already, man.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm delighted to see everyone. It's been a long time since I've been on this lovely channel, and so I'm happy to be back. For at least a little bit right now. Yeah,
absolutely. And we got a new member, Ghost Rider. Hey, Ghost Rider, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Let's play a little new member video, and then we're gonna come on back. Here, this is for you. mic is off? Let me see. Let me check my settings.
Mine is okay. I think. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
Check 1, 2, 3. Thank you. It was going through the camera.
Okay.
So let me know if this sounds better.
Well, it sounds deeper. I can hear it.
Yeah. 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 Only been doing this for a couple of years, just
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But
Ghost
I've
Rider.
already given our opening video of the lovely Salma Hayek and a snake.
Man.
You've given me my energy for the day, so that's going to keep me
Yes.
writing for a couple more weeks. I think it's a good inspiration.
Samurai Vader says, "Hey, how goes it? What's up, Samurai?"
Well, no, hello.
Well, we were talking, and I know you're really busy, so thank you for making it. But we were chatting about Latinos in horror right now, in front of and behind the camera. And I know since last year, you have been singing the praises of Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega in their films X and all that stuff. And you called it. You said that Scream 6 was going to be the big movie, and it was.
I'm sad that Nev Campbell didn't come back for it because I'm a huge fan of hers and her contribution to the Scream franchise. But the reality is, Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega are more than ready to take the mantle and have taken it. I mean, this was the biggest opening, I think, of the Scream franchise, and and we're going to talk about why this franchise is just going to get bigger and bigger with these two at the lead.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I do miss Nev a lot. And let's real quick sidebar. I really miss her when 90s Nev Campbell photos just for some reason come up on my Instagram stream. I don't ask for it.
Okay.
Man, she was.
Well, her greatest cinematic triumph was Wild Things with Denise Richards, right? And I think that it's one of those movies you're like, why am I watching this tawdry movie? And then it turns out to be like The Sixth Sense, and even though it's an incredibly tawdry movie, it's actually not what you think it is.
So, Scream 6 sets franchise record 67 million, as you guys know by now. This is a few weeks ago, and the fact that two Latinas, which really never happens, open up a film with this much, to this much hoopla and money being made. I want to go to here really quick, guys, as far as the demographics for that weekend, that opening weekend, right? 51% male, 42% was in the key 18 to 24 demographic. Caucasians made up 40% of the audience, while Hispanic audiences contributed 30% of the film's total viewing. That's a lot. That's not nothing.
They're not 30% of the society, so that says something.
Right. You're absolutely right. What's your take on that? As far as just why horror films that Latino, and they're coming in droves. They're bringing their families.
Well, it's something, and we'll talk about it. I think maybe the cultural reasons for it. But let's just look at when Hollywood started noticing the phenomenon, right? Hollywood started noticing it during Paranormal Activity franchise. They just started realizing, to their surprise, that it was an increasing number of Latinos were watching the Paranormal Activity movies, which are basically found footage, reality type film of that was pretty low budgeted. Scares, spooks, stuff like that. These weren't high special effects movies, and yet Latinos were flocking to them to the point that they started making Spanish language versions of these. Like, what I believe one of them was released in Spanish, right? Where Paranormal Activity takes place down in Mexico or some other place like that, right? And so, and Hollywood figured out that for reasons it didn't quite understand, Latinos were going to this. So they started making Latino-oriented horror movies using myths from Spanish culture, such as La Llorona, right? That was that movie. It was perfectly
La Llorona, yeah.
La Llorona. Thank you for my mispronunciation. Correct.
No, it's okay.
It was a perfectly enjoyable, entertaining movie. I went and saw it. I'm a big horror buff, and but it was made specifically to try to get a lot of audience. I don't know that it was very commercially successful, part because it wasn't that great a movie, right? I think they could have made an even better movie based on this myth, right? But that was their first effort. Hollywood has to have first effort at everything when it doesn't know what it's doing, right? And so, but the pivotal moment when you realize Hollywood woke up is when they decided to do the previous Scream 5, and which did have Dev Campbell in it. But suddenly you're
Mm.
introduced to these two characters, these two actresses, Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, who are a sister team that essentially the
Yeah.
movie pivots to, and Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox and the others are secondary characters in them. Now, last year or whatever it came out 2 years ago, a lot of people, certainly on YouTube, started again through word of mouth, were saying, and I'm going to talk about this a little bluntly. A lot of people started saying, "Well, it's wokey woke. Well, I'm not going to watch it." Right? I was like, why is it woke? I went and watched it. It was a standard, and I thought a very entertaining Scream movie, which is a deconstruction of horror movies and culture. I mean, the original Scream, the fun of it was deconstructing and mocking and mimicking horror movies, but also reflecting on where audiences were and culture was. And then this new Scream movie that came out, the previous one, Scream 5, with Melissa Barrera, it was an effort to take where we were culturally as fans with all kinds of sequels and stuff like that. And it was in the same vein where it was in many ways mocking Hollywood for making these formulaic films and then reflecting where the fans had now gotten 20 years later culturally. And they were dissatisfied
Uh-huh.
with franchises. And it was actually in many ways being a spokesman for the fans who said the franchises are being hijacked by people that don't understand them, right?
Mm.
And yet people, because I guess there's the outrage industry, right? In the fandom immediately jump to, well, they're making fun of the fans. It's like, no, they're making fun of the people that are making fun of the fans. Like, you guys can't see this? And because people didn't want to see it. And that's what I also noticed, that the criticism from some elements of the fandom, or at least of the people speaking for the fandom, was actually embedded in the fact that the energy had shifted over from these characters, the traditional characters, Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, and the others, right? Dewey and all these people had shifted over to these Latina and these two Latinas, and then there's these black brother and sister couple, both of which survived the last movie and then come into this one, right?
They were
And
great.
the
Yeah.
final four, right? And
Yeah.
it's
Four core four.
four core, yeah,
Yeah.
four, right? But that was the
Very
idea. And
cute.
so
Yeah.
and they are very much the survivors of these things. And I started opining that I thought a lot of the negative critique that was coming from people that didn't seem to understand the movie was based on the fact that they didn't like that the ethnicities of the leads were shifting. And to me, that is an unacceptable critique. If the critique is coming from bad storytelling, from having characters that are cast that don't reflect the material, but they're just cast for political purposes, that's a fair critique. These were authentic characters in a horror movie that were fun and were written to the horror movie. So I was like, you just don't want a Latinas to be the lead of this? That's pretty stupid.
Yeah, it's interesting because of that, that as far as young kids growing up, then going to college, the demographics have changed, and the core four, that's what kids nowadays just happen to look like.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's
and
okay. That's perfectly good.
right, no, it's totally cool because I recently saw all the Screams
Yeah.
again, and some of it held up, some of it didn't.
Yeah.
Some of the movies were better than the others, but they're all entertaining and just
Yeah.
silly. And I think the thing with Scream as a horror film, it really kind of shot its wad that first time, and then was kind of always trying to be clever, off the
And
other
it
one,
never
off the
quite
other.
made it until
No,
I think Scream 5. I think Scream 5, personally, I thought was the closest to recapturing that critique, because it was many
yeah,
years since the previous movie, and
10
we
years,
had
yeah,
gone through this period
yeah,
where people were unhappy with movies. They were unhappy with what Disney was doing. Or they were unhappy with
hmm
franchises, and they were, and people were, and it captured the fact that fans understood that the filmmakers were disrespecting franchises, and it
really
captured that.
fast. Yeah, and really fast here. Another added surprise was the impact of international box office on this
Mhm.
last Scream movie. This is just gold. Mexico, $2 million. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot, but that is a lot. And Melissa is a Mexican national,
Yeah.
Barrera, and de novela, and has a little singing career there. And her star is starting to really shine. She's going to
Yeah.
have some big films out this year besides Scream.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's wonderful. Listen, I also think it's very interesting the fact that yes, they're two Latino actors, but they were playing the Carpenter sisters.
Yeah.
They weren't necessarily Latino. They, as far as the characters, you didn't hear them speak Spanish, any of that stuff. They just were sisters.
Yeah, and and as we discover, Melissa Barrera's character is the daughter of one of the white characters. I won't reveal all this plots. I want you to watch these movies.
Right.
One of the white characters, one of the important white characters from the first movie, right? And
Right.
so she's obviously mixed ethnicity, right? But again, nobody cares about that. That's to me where we've evolved to good filmmaking, where nobody cares. No,
Right.
I mean, it's not a point of let's talk about the fact that we're Latinos and my father was white, but what does that mean for my identity? It's like nobody can. We're in a slasher movie, so stay with it. And they
Especially
stayed
for
with
the
it.
slasher movie. Correct.
Yeah. They stayed with the
Correct.
slasher movie. That's all it
Absolutely.
was.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey guys, we're here with KAMRAN PASHA. We got over 40 people live in the
Yeah.
chat. Share the link, smash it, make sure you are subscribed. Let's take a look at some of these. I starred a couple of these chats, and we did get a super chat. So let me see here. Stephanie Janusek for $4.99. Hey guys, what's up,
Good to see you,
girl?
Steph.
How you been?
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's really great to see her, man. Really great to see her. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, people do follow her channel. The Smuggler's Cantina. I think she has a lot of really great commentary on there that I largely agree with. So I think it's an important voice of the fandom.
I would agree. I would agree. Ghost Rider says supernatural activity is part of Hispanic culture. Yeah.
So let's talk
La
about that.
Llorona.
Let's talk about that.
Well,
so I'll let you lead.
It's already there, right? As far as our creepy legends, La Llorona, El Cucuy, the Boogeyman.
Yep.
I'm waiting for that film to be done. A movie that's coming out.
Chupacabra, modern myth.
Right. That's planned. Well, there's a new film on Netflix coming out in April called Chupa.
Okay.
Which people are having a fun time with that title.
Yeah, because it means we know what it means. Or maybe
we know what it means.
Yes.
But it's a play off of Chupacabra. And there was even an old X-Files on Chupacabra. And so the legends and the different countries lend itself to that. Even what we played earlier, Dust Till Dawn, was a play off of Aztec Mesoamerican vampires. And,
so here's something that you don't know. Just before he passed away, Paul Walker from the Fast and Furious franchise, right? When he was still alive, I was approached by Latino producers who wanted to develop a horror film set in Mexico, but they were talking to Paul Walker about coming in as being one of the leads. Like he would come down there with this Latino partner. They were like essentially going to be like FBI agents investigating a crime or being sent to work with Mexican police to look at something. And they arrived there and they essentially find themselves in a vampire story. And I pitched them something based on ancient Aztec myths of the bat creatures that live underground.
We talked about this. You told me this.
Yeah. And so, and I had a whole pitch ready and about to take it to Paul Walker. And then, tragically he died in a car accident. Literally days, like 2 or 3 days after I finished the pitch, I was ready to present it to him. So that did not happen. But it was interesting because the reason they're going to him is that the Fast and Furious movies were also well received by the Latino community, and people liked him. The Latino community seemed to like him. His character was dating, a Hispanic woman in the movie, but no one had a problem with that. In fact, Latinos were like, "That's the gringo I like. He could date my daughter."
Oh, listen. Once there's a gringo that Latinos love, it is religion.
Yeah.
Like Morrissey and his music back in the day.
Yeah.
We all emulated his look. For real. We get behind certain not just gringos, but like Prince, and of course all the oldies music, but in those bands. But absolutely, you're right on point.
But then this leads us to something. Probably, because this is a cultural thing. Then one of the things Hollywood is beginning to figure out is that I won't say Latinos are monolithic. By this whole channel is dedicated to the fact that they're not monolithic. They're quite a diverse culture, right? However, there is very much there are elements within widespread amongst Latino cultures where there are sort of mass movements of things where suddenly everyone gets interested in horror films, everyone gets interested in Paul Walker, right? There are
Yep.
moments of focus within the community that are perhaps not as clear in other ethnic communities, and so Hollywood sees that and goes, we can make money on this. How do we,
Mhm.
where these areas where the communities are coming together en masse over certain things, how can we profit from it? And that's fine because then we can make things that hopefully are good and profitable, because they're not going to be profitable if they're not good.
Cameron, what do you think about Jen Ortega calling out the writers of Wednesday?
Well, I will tell you, it caused a great deal of offense amongst my writer friends. I was on a screenwriters board where we chat about things, and when it happened, people were just lambasting her, saying really nasty things, and
Really?
yeah, really, because they took it.
Wow.
I mean, in general, screenwriters feel disrespected by the system because they largely are, right? And we create the lines that actors bring to life, and rarely get the public acknowledgement of such, right? And so their skins are rubbed raw from that anyway, and there's nothing more it's offensive to a writer than to have them say what she said, which is essentially their writing wasn't good enough and I had to rewrite it, right? And
Sure.
so that the other person that had said something like that was Katherine Heigl when she was working on Grey's Anatomy, and that ruined her career. People wouldn't work with her again. She said this quality of the scripts I was given were not good enough to be nominated for an Emmy. I mean, it's
Yeah,
ungracious
that
what
was
she
pretty
said.
extreme. Yeah,
Yeah, and
that was pretty
unwise.
extreme. My thing with Jenna is she's 20.
Yeah,
She's a
yes.
kid. She grew up on sets. She had she probably had a little diva moment, or maybe she's a little diva.
Well, I mean,
But
to that,
no,
one of my friends
mhm.
defended her on the board, who's a very successful screenwriter and had cast her early on in her career when she was a very young
Okay,
child. Uh, and uh,
okay,
and and they said, look, I watched her grow, and she was a delight to work with as a child. But they said, look, stop attacking her. She's a kid. She's a kid who's suddenly become world famous overnight, right? Even
overnight.
even
Hmm.
even in Scream 5, she wasn't the main character,
No,
right? It's Melissa,
no,
and she's a side character. But now Wednesday has made her a global phenomenon, and she's
and
20 years
X.
old. Yeah,
I mean, that was the thing I was saying last fall, like
yeah,
December, was that Scream is gonna open huge because of Jenna.
yeah.
It might not last long, but it's gonna have a huge weekend, and
Yeah.
that did it. There was another article that, and I'll just kind of paraphrase
Can I
off of
actually?
it.
I know we're live. Can I? I was getting a
Yeah,
call from my agents. Let me just take a brief 1 minute away. Will you
you
put
know
this
what?
stuff
I'm
over here,
gonna
and
do
I'll
the
come
X
back?
Files while you're gone. We'll do
Yeah,
the X
let's do
Files while
that. I
you're
mean,
gone.
I'll come back because I have to deal with my agents, find out what's going on. Just give me
Do it.
1 second, okay? I'm gonna just mute and be back
Do
in a
it.
second.
Okay, so Patrick Lemire, Ryan Coogler is rebooting X Files. Another ginger swap incoming. Well, I have some thoughts about that. And first of all, this coincides with 30th anniversary of X Files, and so there's going to be a lot of hoopla, a lot of things going on. Chris Carter said in passing in a podcast that he talked to a young man named Ryan Coogler who's going to reboot it with a diverse cast. And one, I would really love them just to leave the X Files alone because they're perfect, especially the first 6 seasons as they were. I had major problems with the last couple of seasons, especially the ones without Mulder, with Daggett and Mulder. Excuse me. This is my this is my allergy rag. But people were talking about how diverse the X Files was, and I posted on Twitter, Patrick, that yes and no. Yes, in the writing of characters and in guest starring, and then some small recurring roles later on, but no in regards to some of the really odd choices for casting. And let me just bring this up and show this to you really quick, guys, because this is my thing that had bothered me when I saw these episodes. Now you got to understand, Chris Carter is one of us, meaning he's a SoCal boy. He grew up on the Dodgers. He grew up in, I believe, in Southgate. I mean, he even named Scully, after Vince Scully, and so he grew up around Chicanos, around Mexican Americans. So when he named this character, like one of the sleeping character, one of Mulder's, kind of the dark connects, Marta Covarrubias, I was, I was surprised that was her name because she never looked like no Covarrubias that I've ever met in Southgate or in LA. The other character that I had way more problems with was the casting of Annabeth Gish as Monica Reyes. And I love Annabeth. I think she's a fine actor. But when you connect her to her culture, as they did in a couple of episodes and where she spoke Spanish, it's pretty cringe. It's pretty bad. And, that, so my thing was like, yeah, they're diverse, but they didn't cast Latino actors. Oh, you're back on with me, Cameron.
I'm back on, but I just want to let your audience know as well that I have about just 20 minutes because I have to take a meeting at 4:00 as a result of this call. So we'll jump right in. And I do recall the character of Marita Covarrubias. I remember she was quite a lovely actress, but I was like, she's supposed to be South American. She's supposed to be Argentine. What is her origin, right? And it wasn't clear.
Again, that one wasn't as problematic for me as was Monica Reyes, who was born and raised in Mexico.
Sure.
And Annabeth Gish was trying to pull off speaking Spanish in a few episodes, and it was just bad. And it really always surprised me that a homeboy like Chris Carter would let that slide, would let that slip.
But that's
just my take on this. I'm not excited about Ryan Coogler doing a reboot, but I'm a huge.
I don't know that that's real. I don't know that that's
right.
Real. I think that's a lot of talk. I'm going to say some critiques of Mr. Carter. Maybe he'll watch this and never hire me for a job. But look, I'm a huge fan of the X-Files. I worked with Glenn Morgan on Bionic Woman, who was the head writer of X-Files for many years. Mr. Carter, his one major claim to fame as a person in Hollywood is that show X-Files. He also, I think, made Millennium, but it didn't have the same cultural impact as the X-Files did. And it's a living entity today. The fact that people still care about the possibility that X-Files can be resurrected, it causes news today, right? Because a lot of what the X-Files, it tapped into a growing sense that the world is not what it appears to be, which I think has over 2 generations, a lot of people believe that, right? So, but he's also, he's also very much, and I hate using this kind of terminology, but I'm going to use it here. He's also sort of, like your generic white guy in Hollywood, right? Because I've dealt with those guys, right? And there's a lot of things where they think that they're allies to various ethnic groups, and they don't even realize the superficiality of that allegiance. It's not conscious. They think they're being helpful. And they're shocked when you point out things to them that, like, well, why'd you cast this person, not that person? It didn't even occur to them, right? The character is Mexican. Is that enough, right? The character's Spanish, right? Latino. Is that enough? And they don't realize, and even when these characters were being made, it's like, there's talented Latino actresses available right now. It's not like, and Annabeth Gish is a wonderful actor. It's not like there weren't other people prominent at the time that could have played it.
Right, and I get a comment in the chat that Polly sounding like Johnny Legs, and I know you're probably half joking or not, but love him or hate him, Johnny Legs, he can make good points, and the point I'm making is that when you make a Latino specific character on a major television show, and you don't have a Latino actor or someone who you believe can pull it off, it was a double take for me, and that always bugged me. Like, why did that happen? Here is like, I mean, when was that? Maybe a little over 20 years ago. There's plenty of great, Latina actors that could have, My point is that, especially coming from an LA boy like Chris Carter, I thought that was very short-sighted.
Well, but but LA. I mean, look at LA has always been one of the most racist places towards Latinos, even though Latinos are such a special part of the culture. You live here, I live here. Let's be straight about it. Especially in Hollywood, the only Latinos they know are their gardener, the guy in the restaurant. That's all they know, and they don't let Latinos into their world. They don't let them into their world, so they don't know it.
Yeah, and when they had that episode from season 9, episode 7, John Doe, where Doggett loses his memory and he ends up in Mexico, the Mexican filter was on those cameras every time they're in Mexico. So that's another weird thing. Let me see. We just got this. As a writer, one should not be an ally.
Mhm.
One should be a friend. Allies do things they think a group would like. A friend will ask people of a group what they're like and what they like.
That's very profound.
That's it.
That's very I agree with you. I don't use terms like this. You know, I
No.
dislike whenever Hollywood starts regurgitating terms. I don't like using
Yeah.
them, right? And so this became this ally thing. I was like, well, I don't do anybody's ally. First of all, I'm a storyteller, and that is allegiance.
Yes.
My allegiance is to storytelling, into authentic and good storytelling, right? That's my allegiance.
Absolutely.
And if I'm a friend, I agree with it, but I'm a friend to all of humanity, and I try to, you know, there's good and bad in every culture, every society, every family, every person. So I just try to be authentic in all of that. And, you know, and often I will go out of my way to see if I can open doors for people that I see are being taken for a ride by this system that isn't being fair to them. Right. But then that's just coming out of humanity. That isn't coming out of any political allegiance of any kind.
I think it's well said. I think when I start hearing that language, I know what that means. I
Yeah.
know those philosophies behind that language, and I'm just not down with it because the thing is that I want to talk to everybody.
Mhm.
I want to know people's stories,
Yeah.
and if I start with that language, then it's just too much division. I'm not into that at all, at all.
But we
You
are
know,
seeing evolution. We're even seeing evolution in how
Mhm.
Hollywood portrays characters. You know, and we talked about this a little bit. You haven't seen this yet, but
Mhm.
I'm still high off of this miniseries on Amazon, Daisy Jones and the Six, which I finished
Let's
last night.
talk about it.
Let's
You
talk about
talk about it.
And it's
Go
based on
for
a
it.
book. It's based on a recent book. The book came out just like 2 years ago, right? It's not, and you know, and it's based on a novel. And not the novel Daisy Jones is Six is, you know, it's a fictionalized band from the '70s. It's kind of inspired by Fleetwood Mac, you know, a band that becomes a massive hit, but they're torn apart by their internal fighting and romances that go awry and all these things that happen. And one of the major characters in the story, in the book, and in this show is a Latina woman. And again, this is in the late '60s, early to mid '70s. That's when the show is set, right? Who is married? She's Latina. Her name is Camila. The actress is also named Camila Moron. But I think the character was Camila Alvarez. I think, but she's a Latina who from Philadelphia. They're in Pittsburgh, not Philadelphia. They're from Pittsburgh in the early '70s. And she falls in love with this like local garage band guy. He's a white guy. And there's a great scene actually early on when she has to bring the gringo home to her nice Latin family, right? In 1971 Pittsburgh, right? Who, and he comes in and he's trying to be respectful and he doesn't understand the culture and whatever. And the father only cares about the fact that how are you gonna support my daughter? Are you serious about this? You're running around with a guitar, and you think I'm gonna approve of you as a husband, right? It's a very real moment, right? But then she runs off with him, and she is not herself in the band, but she becomes the heart of the band. The band is called the Six. There's only 5 actual musicians in the band. The reason they call it the Six is because of her. Because she's a six. She's there in soul. She's the one that brought them all together. She's the one that keeps them together. Even when the lead singer starts having sort of at least an emotional affair with this other singer that they bring in, played by Riley Keough, who is, Elvis's granddaughter, is incredible in this. And over the course of the miniseries, this actress Camila Moron, who is Argentine, and I think was recently dating it was Leonardo DiCaprio. That was her large claim to fame until this is. I mean, she's done a couple of small things, and she was in the Death Wish remake. She's done a couple of small things. This was her big role, and she blew me away. She utterly blew me away because I was like, who the hell is this actress? I've never seen her before. I can't get my eyes off of her. Her mannerisms, she's such an authentic, real actress, right? And I've never seen her before. And the show goes on to say that she's very much the heart of this entire band, and her pain is, the band's breaking apart is the pain of her soul, right? So what's amazing is where we've evolved in Hollywood is the character is just a Latina. And there's no commentary about the fact that there's a couple of scenes that are funny of the white guy not quite fitting into this Mexican American culture, in the '70s, right? But it's just such a minor thing. She's just the soul of the band. And the fact that even in the '70s, this one Latina amongst all these white people is the soul of this band was just a natural evolution. And there's no commentary, there's no political point they're making about how I guess in interviews now people are like, how do you feel, Camila, to be the great first Latina, blah blah blah. It's just the journalists are trying to take the conversation there, but the show isn't, which to me is a really healthy evolution.
Great evolution. We're seeing that higher level of writing that happens to be diverse, but just incredible stories. So I think this is.
You have a picture of her, Camila Morone. She's quite lovely. I mean, she's quite.
This is her, right?
This is her, Camila Morone. Yeah, she's quite
Okay.
beautiful. And maybe bring one of the larger pictures so we can see her and all her glory.
Let me see. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know how to make these bigger.
I don't know either. But yes.
So you're saying her character's Mexican American?
I believe so. I mean, she's certainly Latina. I don't think they even talk about. She's Spanish speaking.
Right.
And they show her speaking Spanish in several scenes. There's actually one scene where she spent actually so much time hanging out with all these gringos in the LA music scene that her Spanish is getting rusty, and she runs into a character who speaks Spanish to her, and she actually fumbles with the words, and it's kind of funny, right? Where she's so immersed in this culture. But again, none of it is beating you over the head with the fact she's Latina. It's just a natural moment for the character.
Right. I'm getting the character's name is Camila Alvarez, but you're saying that this is just a great three-dimensional character.
Absolutely.
And you recommend the show.
I absolutely recommend the show. I mean, I'm still thinking about it. I watched all 10 episodes over the last several days, and it stays with you, right? It's you're an artist, Romy's an artist. There's an artist in our chat right now, and it very much explores the passion and the madness of creation, right? And how the process of creation can both give birth to something new, but also can be destructive to the artist, right? It really explores that in a way that hit me very deeply.
I love it, man. I love it. Trying to keep up with so many things that I do. I was telling you about Joaquin Murrieta. We just interviewed the cast and the director. Then I saw this movie from Mexico that got a theatrical distribution. I saw that last night at the Burbank AMC. It's great to see the wealth of entertainment coming out. So back to, did we wrap it up with Latino horror?
No, we didn't. And but we started exploring. We got distracted. Started exploring what cultural elements people in the chat were talking about, and you brought up that there are deep myths of from Latino cultures. I think that. And I'm going to bring another element that maybe people haven't thought about, because it is absolutely true that various Hispanic, Spanish-speaking cultures have deep metaphysical, supernatural myths. It's very deep into the culture, right? Someone pointed out in the chat, I think there's truth. I think a lot of that comes out of a kind of Catholicism that evolved specifically within South America, maybe. I think combining indigenous mythologies and religions and stories with the grand opera of Catholic storytelling. There's a lot of powerful imagery in Catholic stories and cultures. But I'm also going to add an element to it, I think, that people don't realize. I think that there is, again, because it all comes back to this, there's that Moorish influence that's 800 years in early Spanish identity. I mean, 30% of Spanish is Arabic, right, today. And so there's these deep rooted things. And remember, Moors are Muslims, and the idea of the jinn is very central to Islamic cultures. It was central when I visited Andalusia. You have this whole southern Spain, you have this still very much Islamic culture, even though it's a Catholic country now. And in Muslim cultures today, in the same way that you'll see in South America, people take ghost stories quite seriously. The jinn are part of the living tradition. It's part of the religion to believe that there's these metaphysical beings, these spiritual beings around you, some of who are quite dangerous. They're not angels. Some can be demonic, others are just neutral, but they're still dangerous. And when Spanish culture originates from a fusion of European, Iberian, Visigothic culture and Latin culture with Arabic culture. That's modern Spanish culture. It's a fusion of those. And so a lot of this deep perception that the universe, that there's mysterious forces all around us that come out of the Islamic world is rich, because there's other Catholic cultures that aren't as deeply embedded, even though they have great myths like French culture and others cultures, Catholic origin, that have great supernatural stories. They're not as deeply embedded today, I think, in the cultures as they are still in the Spanish speaking cultures. And I think it comes from this Moorish Islamic influence that's deep within it.
Let's bring it back too, because there's someone just mentioned, and I was already thinking it. I think a master writer and storyteller. When I know you have your opinions as far as when he's on point. But who's ushered in that Latino horror, just connection is Guillermo del Toro.
Of course.
I mean, he from his own stuff to producing other horror films. I haven't seen the Cabinet of Curiosities yet. So but I would say even like with Pinocchio, there's some horror elements that were in there. But
well, if the guy who's doing it is always going to have some horror in there, right? And there is a horror element to it, just because the idea of breathing in life, to an unliving thing, it's Frankenstein, right?
I was just going to say that,
yeah,
because that's his next project, and it looks like it's going to be with Oscar Isaacs, and
that'll be great.
What's his name? Spider-Man, the kid,
the kid, yes,
Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield. So yeah, and then, but I think also too. Okay, so going back to the audiences, like you said something, like the opening weekend of Scream, 30% Latino U.S., but that's more than what we're represented. Meaning, like in the country, we're what 18-19% of the country.
Yep.
That's pretty incredible. In horror films in general, Latino families make up almost 50% of the horror audience. That's nuts.
And that's actually great for the film industry, because the horror is the standard thing that always works. People say to me, "Oh, well, horror's back." Horror's never left. Horror never leaves. Even when you've got the pandemic and films being shut down, people were making small horror movies and they were distributing them and getting done, right? They even made horror movies about the pandemic, right? I think Michael Bay made one, right? And so during it, in the middle of it, he filmed a movie about the pandemic, a horror movie about the pandemic in the middle of a pandemic. You can't make horror movies go away, because they get to the most visceral aspect of our souls, which is our fears, right? Which we have difficulty expressing in polite society today. Right. And so that is how we can explore them. So the fact that it is melding with Latino culture is wonderful for the genre, because it's now going to make the genre more than just a sort of fringe thing. So Scream was successful objectively as a good, whether one thinks the script is good or not, as a well-performing movie. And you want, if Latino communities keep coming, horror movies are going to keep rising in the amount of money they bring in. And as a huge horror fan, my first script that I wrote, the first script that got me an agent, was a teen slasher that was inspired by the original Scream. It was inspired by Scream. I saw Scream. I loved it. I wrote a masked dude with a knife chasing a girl movie, and that got me my first agent. That's how important horror movies are to me, right? I've written ghost stories. I've written possession stories. I wrote a paranormal movie last year, which still shopping around. I do this out of love. I'm not known as a horror writer. I just do it because I love them. And it makes me so happy to see that Latinos are becoming the lifeblood that are bringing it into prominence now.
I love it, man. I love it. So
I got to start winding down about a minute, my brother.
Yeah.
Stick around. You can just continue talking, but we're
going to continue talking. But I just want to go really fast. It would make sense that the most successful Marvel product last year was Werewolf by Night. Did you see Werewolf by Night?
I have not seen it. Did you see it? Was it good?
I loved it. And, it starred Gael Garcia Bernal. It was in black and white. It was executed really well. And, it was an unexpected hit. I think they're going to do some more of them. But, I know we can, we'll let you go. We can continue the conversation. But as far as the state of Hollywood, guys, what I want you guys to do is hit Cameron's Patreon. You are prolific right now. You have been.
I'm trying to put out like 2 or 3 a day, and I got work. I'm writing a script right now. I got other stuff to do.
Right. Can you give us a little juicy thing that we can talk about after you leave?
I mean, there's so much juicy stuff. I will say that this Patreon in the last several days has massively scooped the industry, the trades, in advance of the last week, because my sources inside of Disney were telling me about the layoffs that were coming. They specifically told me that layoffs were coming within Hulu, which was announced 3 days later. They told me that layoffs were coming, within 20th Century Television. And just yesterday, an entire division of 20th Century Television was shut down, exactly as predicted. So, I've endured a lot of let's just say people that have not trusted my information for the past year, because I have these sources within Disney and Lucasfilm, other places, and a lot of what they said took a while to come to fruition. And so I endured a lot of mockery and people saying this guy is making stuff up. And now suddenly it's been a fire hose of, if you go to my Patreon, as predicted, as reported, just headline after headline, stuff that I've been saying just for the last few weeks, but sometimes for months or even over a year, are coming to fruition. And I think we're in a transformative period at Disney and other places. So come, join me on my Patreon, because you're getting scoops you're not getting anywhere else. I'm putting stuff out before Variety is putting them out. I mean, and so that's because it's weird. A friend of mine just called me today. It's called me, "You're becoming the new Hedda Hopper," which is, if you don't know who Hedda Hopper was,
Wow.
Hedda Hopper was
Yeah.
the great gossip agent of the trades in the early golden age of Hollywood, 1930s, 40s, 50s, right? And she was the one that everyone in the industry before Nikki
Mhm.
Fink turned to for scoops and inside gossip information. And because she didn't care about, burning bridges by telling the truth. Nikki Fink was
Yeah.
the same, and I'm a screenwriter whose my career, my profession is to write screenplays, and I've managed to do that. And so I don't really see myself either as a YouTube personality or even as a journalist. I'm just putting stuff out that my friends are telling me, and as a result, the Fortune magazine recently just they quoted me as a Disney expert talking about the Victoria Alonso firing, right? And they quoted me because nobody else in the industry was willing to say out loud that she had been fired until she said it. I said she was fired, and they couldn't get anyone to say that because they were so afraid of her and of being politically incorrect that they didn't say she was fired. They didn't want to say Latina was fired. So I said, well, she was obviously fired. I gave, and then Fortune magazine ran it because they needed someone to say it, and they said KAMRAN PASHA, screenwriter and Disney expert, because nobody else would say it. So
Dude,
that's
I
what I'm
saw
doing.
that. That was just crazy.
Well, that's what I'm
And
doing
good.
on my Patreon, is I'm telling stuff that the industry is afraid to say. So please come join it. And I do have to actually, because I think my meeting
Yep.
is here. So everyone stick around here. This is a great channel. I already see the chats having really great conversation, and Paulie's
Yep.
going to continue engaging you with where we are with horror movies and movies in general.
My dude, safe travels. God bless. Inshallah. And I'll talk to you later.
We'll talk soon, hopefully with less time pressure. And then we had
yeah. Well,
that lovely director you wanted me to talk to. I hope we can do something with her. So yeah.
well, okay. So she said, let's plan it and give me 2 weeks in advance, because she's real,
Yeah, she's a busy woman.
and we're gonna do it. We guys, just so you guys know, me and Cameron are gonna be interviewing Gigi Sal Guerrero, a great horror film director. Look out for that next month.
All right, my friends. God bless. I gotta go.
Okay.
Everyone, stick around here. Don't leave. Hit the like button and continue talking amongst each other and with Paulie. So God bless everyone. Take care.
All right. God bless. Take care, brother. Right on. Okay, that was the great KAMRAN PASHA with his insight. Those are the links to his Patreon. I'm one of his Patreon members, and I want to thank all 78 of you guys live in the chat. Incredible. I hope all 78 are subscribed to the channel, and I hope all 78 have liked the button there. Okay, so right now, what I want to do, we could, 10, 15 minutes. I don't want to go too long, but let's go ahead and hit open topic. So in your question, I'm going to lead it off with Victoria Alonso, because I have not talked about her on my channel. I want to lead it off with Victoria Alonso, but if you have a question, put open topic. That way I can see it big, and we'll take it from there. So yeah, please ask me anything with that. The Victoria Alonso, I it sounds like, and there's been so much so many videos and people have been done upon it. For me, this person was there for 17 years, and in a very difficult kind of skilled position. So it seemed that she made a lot of right moves in the beginning of all those films, and maybe she hired the right people, and maybe maybe in her career just kind of just spiraled from there. But you know, l- listen, change always happens. It sounds like a huge mess, um, but it sounds like they're going to wrap it up and pay her off, and so they can shut her up because that's probably the best thing that you guys could hope for. Because let me tell you guys right now, let me tell you guys right now, the worst thing that you want, anything that you want, right? Any company is a former employee who's in this day and age. I'm just saying, who's a Latina gay woman, but also too an Argentinian woman, because they don't play. It's in their DNA. They'll cut a bitch. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to keep it real, man. And yeah, the power and ideology did go. Did go. It spiraled. It spiraled. But you know what? It's not just her. It's not just her. It's all spiraling. The last thing they need is someone going rogue on them like a Victoria Alonso. So that is going to be quite the exit package, if you will. Okay, so open topic. That's where we're at right now. Let me put that up. Brian asks a question. How would how would you do a John Carpenter vampires TV series? Ooh, man. Well, I would I first of all, I love the film. I think I just recently rewatched it a couple of months ago. I loved I love the characters that were created. The one there not many of them lived, so maybe we have to retell that because I want to bring back some of those characters. Some of those characters were wild. I think as wild and as loose as you can have it, Brian. You don't want it um, sanitized at all. You want its edge. Vampires was camp. It was edgy. It was hilarious. It was nasty. You want to keep that. Uh, there's a show that I've been talking about on Prime, the Joaquin Murrieta. And what makes it work so well is that it is kind of this unfiltered spaghetti western in Spanish, and there's nothing PC about it. So vampires cannot be PC, not at all. It's got to be guttural, like that first one, and fun. So hopefully that question, I answered your question there. Let me see, what else do we have? Yeah, do me a favor and put open topic real big, and then ask your question, and I'll get through a couple of these guys. All right. And someone had a good one. I hope that that's just me. Someone has something about X-Files. There it is. 3 favorite X-Files episodes. Well, there's the pilot. There's Clive Bruckman's Final Repose. And I mean, those ones written by that writer, uh what was his name? Darren Martin. I could, kind of use those 3 that he wrote, 3 or 4. The War of the Carthages. Those were. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. Um, so many of them. So that one sticks out. Clive Bruckman. The vampire ones were great. The one with Luke Wilson. I forgot the title of that one. That one is fantastic. The pilot, and I'm trying to think of maybe one of the other ones that which one I dug? I dug Anasazi, whatever it's called, where Scully and Mulder, they're tracking down this train, and it's full of Japanese uh scientists, and they're doing experiments, and it's on the train, it's on the run. I do that one. I like that one a lot. I like that one a lot. Okay, ¿qué más? ¿Qué más? Let me see. Oh, let me mark some of these. Open topic. What time is it? It is time to answer questions. And thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys are digging everything. We'll be here for answer a couple of these, and then we'll get going. My dog's going nuts. Yeah, he wants to get out. Well, he's gonna have to wait. Actually, let me play a video and I'm gonna let him out. This is for the super chats and all that good stuff. Be right back. Arr.
Nice.
Arr. Mm.
Hey, do a mariachi one. Oh my god.
I made it back on time. And yes, if you are so inclined, smash the like, share the link, and make sure you are subscribed. We're doing some open topics here. And again, let me see. Let me make sure. Okay, so yeah, I'm only gonna mark the ones where it says open topic. I'm gonna mark some of these. I hope you guys are doing well. So many great people here. So many great people. Gosh, you guys are now it's like I asked for it, huh? Okay. All right, here we go. Donovan Bradford, he's a member of the channel. Do you think Aztec or Mayan culture would lend itself to a horror themed topic? Absolutely. There was a lot of horror done to each other as far as just as the how the kingdoms and the tribes fought against each other and their trade of people. You know what would be a great horror story? Like you can make a horror angle is La Malinche and what she had to endure. That would be fantastic. I could see some really good stuff there. Dylan C, what was the last great horror movie that I saw? The last great one? God, the last great one. I saw a great thriller the other night, and that's not horror though. Cause yeah, that's a good question. And that, to me, Scream is more of a slasher, and I had a lot of fun. I'm gonna go with Werewolf by Night. Any other monster or stuff? It's been a minute. What are your goals for the slant in 23? Also, how is Call Me Charleston going? What are your goals for 2023? Well, we're doing them in that it is the organic and real growth of this channel, connecting with you guys, members, Latinos, and new people, doing really creating content. I don't call myself a content creator. I don't, I'm just a guy who, sometimes reads the news, interviews people, but when we get creative, we do readings of books, we do, different content, or we have creators on, live music, actors, directors, all that good stuff. So it's not letting up. We're not slowing down. And I think now more than ever, because I'm gonna be honest with you, doing someone else's channel live twice a week was very cumbersome just as far as time. So now all the time is going to go back to Latino Slant. 100%. That's his tip. And it's not a slight to anyone. I love Mr. H. I love Tom. I love all involved. But I love the Latino Slant 100%. And I love you guys. So that's what we're going to do. Moving forward, we're going to have, we got great guests that we're booking. there you go. Randall Orser, first time seeing you here. Have you seen Y Tu Mamá También? Starring Diego Luna and Gael Garcia Bernal. What do you think? Not only have I seen it, I've got a poster of it right there, right on my opposite wall. I'm looking at it right now. Oh, no, that's Amores Perros. Porque tus amores perros me van a matar. Okay, Randall, I think you're new or newish to the channel. Randall, I have had a watch party on this a couple months ago with the Latinos, with the members of the channel of Y Tu Mamá También. It's an incredible movie. It's a landmark film, Alfonso Cuarón, and he takes that kind of coming to age teenage genre and really turns it out into something meaningful, a little shocking. It's yeah, love the film, highly recommend it. Zombie Box Reviews, what's up, Zombie? Your top 5 X-File characters. Okay. I mean, and I'm looking at my X-Files DVDs box sets over there. Of course, the first 2. And okay. I'm gonna make it real simple. I'm gonna go OG. Scully and Mulder, the lone gunman. That's just it, guys. Have you heard about Boomy Langet Universe? No, I have not. Open topic. Who can name an Iberian myth other than La Llorona that could be easily made into a movie? El Cucuy. I don't know if Igbo American El Cucuy would work. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. Okay, these are fun. Huh, I might start doing these as we move along. Now, did I get any other ones? Because I'm now I'm circling back here, guys. You guys have been great. All right, let me look, and then we're gonna wrap it up. My favorite was Wakanda Forever. Oh my god. Hey, what's up, Zax? We are just doing open topics, my friend. And it's right there. Okay. I think we're good. Donovan answers Smoky Man, Alien Bounty Hunter, Krychek, Skinner, Lone Gunman. God, I love Krychek. Alex Krychek was a great character. Alien Bounty Hunter, it was all right. He was all right. Smoky Man, look, I didn't even mention Smoky Man because you said 5. You got Scully and Mulder and the Lone Gunman. Smoky Man became kind of it got played out for me, man. It got played out for me. You know? Skinner's good. Good. Okay. I also made an announcement, guys, that the Blue Beetle trailer will drop April 5th. Part of the trailer's opening up Super Mario Brothers. So that is happening. That is happening, guys. Okay. I think that's it as far as questions. It has been a lot of fun. If you guys missed it, hit the replay. We'll be back next week. We have a great interview that we did. I did with Andre of Midnight's Edge when we interviewed the director and cast of Joaquin Murrieta, which is on Amazon. I highly recommend that show. And just look out for more videos here, guys. Visinger, open topic. It's like Indonesian owned version of DC Marvel. Yeah, I've never heard of it, but that doesn't mean anything because that's me. You guys got to tell me things. DC seems a confused place right now. Will Blue Beetle have a future going forward? You know what? That's a good question. Do you guys think Blue Beetle is going to be a success with all this DC madness going on? Is it separate enough to where it's going to live in that new gun universe. I did a video and we had it out, put it up a couple days ago. That cast, Xolo Maridueña is probably one of the most likable young actors right now. That Cobra Kai, so you got that going for it. You have a great cast of Latino American actors playing Jaime's family. You have if you can create a great origin story, I think it could live. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? No, Blue Beetle may or may not be good, but superhero movie fatigue will punish it. We got to remember it's coming out in August, so it's gonna be summer. I think right now we're tired, definitely tired, right? Because there's been a lot of superhero release movies coming out the last couple of almost once a month. I think there'll be some time to breathe after Guardians and after Flash. So depends. I do not think it will do much if they don't push it more. Okay. All right. So you guys are kind of hesitant. What was the budget on Blue Beetle? It has the most potential. It's pretty low. I think Blue Beetle was like under 100. I mean, to say that's low. Low for a superhero movie. I do think Blue Beetle as another world story would work. It has to be. It has to be because Zaslav and Gunn are just have gotten rid of those, right? Batgirl, or they're doing major chopping with Aquaman. And look how they butchered. Look what they did to my boy. Look how they butchered Black Adam and Shazam and let them out to dry. I think The Rock did his best to really get people to go. But yeah, man, I don't think he even knew what Black Adam was all about. Clobberin is in the chat. He can tell you. Right now, it isn't superhero fatigue. It's terrible superhero fatigue. Right. It's terrible. It's terrible superhero fatigue. Someone mentioned I didn't have my hat on. Well, you know why I didn't? Because my dad is a professional hairstylist and he came over the house and he gave me a haircut on the spot. So I'm like, I can't put my hat on just yet because I had my hat ready. But my pop's like, made this wig look nice. And then, of course, the big mustache is gone for now. It's going to be gone for a little while. Okay. Blue Beetles are on 70 million. That's nothing. The Rock's ego ruined everything. Probably right. You're probably right. Bro, the stash can grow back in like a day. I'm telling you, man. I'm going to grow a nice scruff right here and let it live for a little while. This has been fun. I want to make sure I got we gave love to everyone in the chat. We had at one point over 80 people. I love that. I miss the Pringles look. Terrible superhero fatigue with no real plan. Well, I saw that with Wakanda Forever and Ant-Man. And if you guys know me, and if you guys have come to the channel because of my reviews, I don't care about representation if it's just to represent a check mark, because I cannot stress this enough how god awful I think Wakanda was, and the Namor take was the least of its problems, and that was pretty bad. It wasn't Namor. Brian in the chat will tell you right now that was not Namor. So there's a lot of problems there at Marvel. I don't even know who the Avengers are going to be. Not to mention all those TV shows. Good Lord, man. Good Lord. You came for the mustache? All right, we'll just give it a day. Give it a day. Let me tell you, man. I Chris Gora in the Film Threat, they let me clip my appearance on there. I went on there Friday to talk about John Wick 4. And what a joy and pleasure. I've seen it twice now. I'm gonna see it at least a couple more times. What an incredible feat and victory for cinema. Martial arts lovers, action lovers, guns and weapons lovers. And then I was thinking about this because people, yeah, big time, big time, big time, big time. See, you always stop. Whenever we talk like this stuff, that just stops me. Forget it, man. Forget it. But let's go back to John Wick 4. I was thinking about this because I saw Snarky J's. I watch all her reviews. I think she's got something special. But I was watching her take on John Wick 4, and then I had to stop because she didn't like the action scenes, or that she thought they were too much. It was kind of gratuitous and all that stuff. Like, when you know, you know. And when you know that these fights were choreographed to basically express a character's intent, that the dialogue is in their movements and in their actions and in the relationships, you see how deep and really profound those fight scenes were, in particular with Donnie Yen going up against Harioki. Donnie Yen going up against several times against Keanu. And then even Keanu going up against Marco Zorora's character. I mean, how you can't get more epic. You can't get better storytelling than in those fight scenes. The use of different weapons, the use of in different locations. I mean, I can't be excited enough. And then now I want to go and see it again right now. So yeah. Did I miss Kang arrest talk? I was 30 minutes late. No, because I don't really want to talk about the Kang arrest. Yeah, we'll leave that one alone. You know? Here's what I will say. As you know on this channel, I've been touting Mr. Major's acting performances in Devotion and in Creed 3, and that's where I'm going to leave it at. Because it is way too early to be talking about anything at all. And, every citizen deserves due process. And that's gonna leave it at that, guys. I'm gonna leave it at that. Because, and, if Mr. Majors has had, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I'm going to leave it at that because that's the respect I'm going to give all involved, because then you start talking about real life and all that stuff, and it's all messy, and we'll leave it at that. Yeah, the story's unfolding. Thank you. Have you rolled with Zaror? No. Oh my God, that would be wild. When you saw Wick, did it have the Sisu trailer? Yes, it did. It was the last trailer before going in because it's the John Wick people. Yeah, that was killer, man. That was killer. And I got to tell you guys, and I know you're not going to like hearing this, but the Flash trailer looked incredible on the big screen. Sorry, guys. Polly, can you stand up Twick with the same nunchucks? Hell no. Hell no. If I saw that, I'd start running. Or if I'm in close contact, I will just grab him and get him to the ground as fast as I can. Screw that. Hey, we got another super chat. Philoe Beto. I love that icon. Can you spell it out phonetically for me? I know I'm missing out on something. For are those euros? 4.99 euros. Hey, Polly. John Wick 4 is cert 15 in the UK. My 13-year-old son is desperate to see it. Any ideas how to sneak him in Obi-Wan style under the Listen, I cannot condone any activities with you and your son as far as a smuggling into a film situation, but I often said, fake the funk, right? And that just means just have his chin up and y'all just walk in like you own the place. And that's it. Though, I think you'll be fine. That's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Transparency and merit comes in for $5. Muchísimas gracias. Good point. I must add, cancel culture denies due process. Punitive action should require due process whenever possible. I just see a lot of people just jumping on this, and the man hasn't even had his due process. But listen, if that makes that hits the clicks for you, hey, do you, boo? Do you? But the Latino slant don't run like that. It's his due process. Give the respect to all parties involved, and that's it. I'm here to enlighten and entertain. I'm not here to throw anyone under the bus. Look, that's just it. That's just it. But thank you for that. Thank you for that. For that $4.99. Let's play some videos for you guys. God, we still got a lot of people here. This is wonderful. We're gonna wrap it up, I swear. But here you go, transparency and merit.
Cuando canto la bamba yo estoy contento porque yo me acompaño. Porque yo me acompaño con mi instrumento allá arriba y arriba. Allá arriba y arriba. Bamba, bamba.
Como cuando tu esposa te dice, lava los trastes. No voy a lavar ni madre. Nada voy a lavar. Eso no es cosa de hombres, es cosa de viejas. Yo no voy a lavar nada, nada. Lávalos tú. Nada, un TikTok. Un TikTok que está ahorita.
¿De qué? ¿O qué?
No, ya lo voy a borrar porque nada, está bien chafa, ni me gustó. Sí, no,
¿Vas a
déjamelo.
lavar los trastes, verdad?
Sí, de hecho, estaba poniendo música para ponerme a lavarlo, ¿sabes? ¿No sabes dónde está la esponja?
Latinos, yeah, throw up your emojis, man. Like Sander is doing, and thank you guys so much. It is Philo Beto. Okay, is that a character? Was that like a character from somewhere? Let me know. Let me know. 47 people in the chat. Jesus Christ, you guys must be having a good time because you're making it hard for me to leave. Must be having a good time. Oh, nice. Everyone's hitting those emojis. Hell yeah. Here, let me throw some up too. We gotta get some. We gotta add some more. We gotta add some more. 113 likes. Jesus. We're like a, we're like a little channel. We're like legit. Okay, you know what people have been asking me about is when is the next time I'm going to do my next reading of Heat 2? Part 3. Very soon. Very soon. And then Bonzo had asked me about my book. They call me Charleston. Yes, I wrote a book, guys. It's a novella. I've written a series of them. The first one is ready. It's all done, laid out. Okay, I keep pushing it back, but I have this this dream to get it ready to sell, and for members, it's going to be a massive discount for you guys. For Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo, we'll do a book. We'll do a book release party, and I'll have a couple of friends come on live, read some of it, and we'll just talk about the novella. It's actually a novella. It's like 22 pages. It's not long. So that's what's going on, my dude, and we'll take it from there. Polly, my boss hooked me up with a digital copy of Heat yesterday. Nice. I have the hardback and the digital copy as well. Philo Betos, Clint Eastwood. Oh, Any Which Way But Lose. It's been years, dude. Every Which Way But Lose. Jesus. What? We're pinning you here till the monster comes in and eats you alive in front of the camera. Man, that's funny. That's funny. Make sure you have a sweat machine when you read and have on no shirt under the jacket when you're reading Heat. Oh my God. Well, no, we got to do it like we did last time. We get the tie, the suit and tie, we have the hat. We're going to have two angled. They'll be standing, because in Heat, man, they always dressed up. I love that. They always were dressed up, rocking and rolling. And, we'll continue the Heat 2. We'll continue the Heat 2, guys. Yeah, nice. All right, guys. I think that's it. It's been great. I know Midnight's Edge After Dark is happening. You can go there. What else is happening right now? Let's check in. As far as who I'm subscribed to. Legal Mindset, Nerd Report, VAC2, Midnight's Edge After Dark. Check those guys out. There you go. You have options for you guys. You have options. All right, my good people. Ooh, really? Wow. I gotta do a little research. I hear that the Heat 2 screenplay has been optioned, has been written. Clint Eastwood in Every Which Way But Lose. Right turn, Clyde. Take care. Hey, look who's here. There she is. With a diamond. What's up, girl? Good to see you. Scarface is next week in the theater? Maybe. What am I going to see tonight? What am I going to watch tonight? I'm home alone for a week, guys. I'm home alone for a week. What should I watch? Give me something to watch, guys. Right now. Tell me what should I watch. Come on. Give me some recommendations here. Recommendations I want before I leave. What should I watch? Excuse me, guys. Just really bad allergies. What should Polly watch? I have 5 days where I'm by myself here at the house. Recommend something. Recommend Polly something to watch. There you go. There's a new topic. Recommend Polly something to watch. I know that's not even right English, but at this point I'm delirious. Okay, here we go. No. Write that one down. Shoot. Let me get my pen and paper out. I'm still old school. Real genius. Oh, and I did see Que Viva Mexico in the theater yesterday, so I will have a review ready. Okay, wait a minute. You guys are going too fast. 12 Monkeys, the movie? I don't think so. No. Maybe. That is a good choice. No. No One Live, Luke Evans. Hey, you know what we did see the other day? And it's like number 1 on Netflix. And it is really well done thriller. Really well done. I don't want to say anything else. The storytelling's so well done. It's called I See You, and it's with Helen Hunt. I See You. Forbidden Planet, might be a little too old for me. 16 Candles, no. Los ricos también lloran. Well, I just saw Que Viva Mexico. Puerto Rico's in there. But is this something you really recommend? The entire second season, Space 1999. I'm going to write that down. I could go for something retro. I did start watching Luther, rewatching the Luther seasons. I just saw the Luther movie. Wasn't bad. Was solid. Was really solid. Ooh, Robert. Excellent. 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 Man, I saw that movie when I was like little and I was traumatized. No, thank you. Red Dwarf. I just screened Real Jesus Sunday and it was always yeah, that one's looking good. That scares me. Community. Who's in that? Stargate. I was watching Stargate. I'm not too much into Doctor Who, man. I did try that. I've seen that one recently. Split Second. How about The Hitcher with Rutger Hauer and C. Thomas Howell? Friday Night Lights. Great film and good TV show. Hunter Killer. Action thriller in the vein of The Hunt for Red October. Okay, I'm writing that down because Deleted has some good taste. Don't let anyone tell you different. Deleted. Dude, I love Lords of Dogtown. Love that one. That was good, Arum. That was good. Cool Hand Luke. No One Lives. Silence of the Limbs. What is that? Is that for real? Man of Snowy River. The Thing. I do want to see Shin Ultraman. Write that down. Visinger's Mr. Anime Magna. I need to take an allergy pill, guys. Old School is pretty good. Twilight Zone. I think Outlaw Josie Wales is sounds good tonight. Borat. What's going on, Borat? Terminator 1 and 2. Can never lose, yeah. Or Three Amigos. Oh my god. Really? I do love that movie. Would you say I have a plethora of piñatas? Sorry, guys. Allergies. Telling you, man. Kicking my ass. Longmire, ICU, Aliens. The Blob 88 remake. I'm gonna write that down. I think I'm in like an old sci-fi mood and Western mood. Doctor Who's an acquired taste. Yeah, I didn't mind it. I like some of those episodes. I was getting through I saw the whole season with what's his name Fudge. Oh God. Kind of like the new generation, and it was about like maybe 15 years ago. I saw that season, and then I started watching the next season where he became David Tennant, and I stopped. It's not that it's just OG Satoshi, True Detective, season 1 is fire. I've seen The Martian, How to Make a Movie Without a Villain. I've seen that movie way too many times. I like that one. My mom was in that show, Space 19. Really? Love Black Summer, Darth. Love both seasons, man. Fudge. I'm gonna write Black Summer down. Season 1 might just be a great rewatch. The Goofy movie. If you know, if you need a Gerard Butler double feature, add Greenland and Hunter Killer. We saw Greenland, Hunter Killer. Is Gerard in Hunter Killer? Then I have to wait till Romy, because we watch all Gerard Butler and Liam Neeson movies together. We saw Taken and Taken 2 the other night. Blade. Raid. Man, this is good. Robert says Estonian movie called Tangerine was incredible, basically about Civil War and Oh, okay. Tangerines. I want to make sure I haven't missed any memberships. Okay, no memberships chats. Okay, good. Okay, let me get all the way to let me catch up. Wild Wild West, no. Annihilation, no. Sunshine. I'm watching Giants of the Old Americas, Giant Latinos. True Grit. Ah, that was a good one. Is Black Summer coming back? Yes, we need it. Yes, Latino Slant is on Discord. Moon Dark City. Love Open Range. But I've kind of seen it recently. Yes, Eccleston. Eccleston, that's who it was. I love him. I really liked him. Well, these are great guys. I think I'm full. I think I am full. Unforgiven. I think Outlaw, because I haven't seen Outlaw in such a long time. Unforgiven, I've seen recently. Quick and the Dead was pretty good. This is a good one. This is a good one to see. Now you're talking. That has been far too long. And I know it's a very influential film. All Twisted Up. Hey, All Twisted Up. How's it going? Well, we're trying to wrap it up, but we're having a good time recommending movies. And we had Cameron on the first hour. I think we're good. How was that? How was Super Lopez? I keep seeing that in my recommendations. I'm gonna write that down. No to Heat. I'm seeing Heat too much, guys. I'm heated out. Okay, got some text. Put this way, I love. Okay. You know what's funny? I saw that White Buffalo when I was a kid. That movie was wow. Super Campeones, Captain Tabuska. Basa. Tubasa. I don't know how to say that. Call me Trinity. Trinity. Sant Seiya Caballeros de Zodad. What is that? I like cowboys and Indians. Saint Seiya. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. Dude, I got like. Okay, we're gonna stop. Gonna stop. All right, but here we go. Real Genius, Hotel Artemis, No One Lives with Luke Evans, Los Ricos, Space 1999, second season, Outlaw Josie Wales, Hunter Killer, Shin Ultraman, The Blob '88 remake, Black Summer Season 1, The Raid 1 and 2, Tangerines, Jason and the Argonauts, Super Lopez, and Saint Seiya. I mean, that alone, I'm going to be busy all week. I'm going to be busy week. Oh, all right. Let's bring up the closing credits and get on out of here. You guys have been great. There'll be another show next week. You can count on it. Much love to you all. I love that film. And that was a pretty good Zack Snyder remake. Did you ever see Dawn of the Dead? Or the Day of the Dead they did? That one was nuts. That one was nuts. Have a great night, Polly. Thank you, Charles. Hey, guys, please, on your way out, make sure you are subscribed. You know how YouTube acts. They crazy. They crazy. I don't know. Is that the one we're doing? I don't know. Night of the Living Dead 1990 remake was good. Yeah? Oh, I've seen that one way too much. I think I'm gonna go Black Summer for my zombie this week. Cause I got a zombie, I got a western, I got a TV show. That's a lot. I got the Raid, I got martial arts, I got the Civil War Tangerines, you got old school Jason the Argonauts. That's a lot, guys. Oh, I saw Thief like a couple. I want to say I saw it like less than a couple months ago. It's always a good one. Oh, I like Night of the Comet. Good night. Good night. Good night, Ari. I'll twist it up. Cheers to you, buddy. Cheers to you. Okay, you guys are great. Be well, and I have movies. Thank you for the recs. There'll be videos up all week long. Wherever you're at, keep that slant fuerte.